This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What is going on, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Main Event Review. The main event post WrestleMania, which is exciting. We're going back to normal screenings as well. Going to be also covering the Raw after WrestleMania, which to me was probably the best Raw after WrestleMania in a very, very long time. Lots of twists, lots of turns, some surprise appearances. But again, the main event does just cover a few segments, so that's what we're going to be touching on today. Some good news actually that's occurred recently is that they are putting main event reviews or main event shows, on YouTube. So you're going to be able to watch the full episode. That's for here in Australia, and I'm pretty sure that would be available internationally. For the US, I still think it's on Peacock because before it being uploaded on YouTube, I've been using a VPN to log into Peacock with my cousin's account that lives in the States. But now I don't have to do that. I can go on YouTube and watch the full show. So for those that are not living in the US and want to catch the main event review or main event show, I keep saying review because I'm thinking about the podcast. It's on YouTube. So you're able to now watch the full show on YouTube, which is great. And yeah, that's pretty much probably the news that I've got, as well as Australia being updated with the months of when they're going to have the show. It's going to be in October. They have not confirmed the dates yet, but it will be sometime in October. And I'm hoping that it doesn't occur on a certain date in October where I am busy with something. I got the Melbourne Marathon here in Australia and have to do that. So if it's not on that date, then I'll be extremely excited. I definitely will be going, and I would love to meet anyone that is from Australia or New Zealand that's traveling down to watch the shows there. And also probably put some content on the podcast regarding what happens when I'm there as well. So extremely excited for more news there. Just want to get my hands on a ticket so I don't have to stress about not getting a ticket. I'm assuming it's going to be really expensive. So we'll try to probably just make 2 of the 3 shows. I definitely want to catch a house show and definitely want to catch a PLE. So yeah, really keen for that. But moving on, we're going to jump straight into the main event with Kaiser taking on Joachim Wild here. So Kaiser gets his second match in a row on main event, which I found quite surprising. It does seem as though there's nothing on Raw for him at the moment, which is also disappointing for him. He gets the victory here against a Joachim Wild, who is simply there to pretty much just get some singles experience, as I mentioned before. The fans do love his acrobatic in-ring ability, but he fails to really connect with the crowd, and he's very much attached with the LWOs, who's not really doing much anyway. So Kaiser getting the victory here makes sense, but again, they are failing to really find anything for him to do, which is quite disappointing. We've also seen Gunther being suspended indefinitely. Seems like he's going to be taking some time off after obviously what happened on Raw with him putting a sleeper on McAfee. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because there doesn't seem to be a program between those two either, or a split up, which is what I mentioned last week. I was hoping that maybe they could address them two splitting up. Kaiser maybe thinking that Gunther is not good enough and he'll just leave the Imperium, or a program between the two. But yeah, Kaiser's not really doing anything on Raw, which is disappointing. But we see him on main event. He gets some slight momentum and the victory here, which is the most important thing. We then transition onto Raw, where we get John Cena entering the ring. Alicia Taylor's not there, but he basically tells the new ring announcer to pretty much say that he is the last ever real champion. I don't know the name of the new announcer, but he is on SmackDown on a regular basis, and he's doing a pretty decent job as a new ring announcer. But anyways, he tells us that winners write history. He's not impressed with the idea of how Vegas treats winners and losers. All of them apparently owed Cena an apology, to which they don't have the courage to do. But actually what's funny is the fans do end up saying sorry. They chant that. But John Cena agrees that they're all sorry, which means nothing to them, and that they're all sorry people. He wonders how this crowd can mean anything to him right now, as the only thing that matters is his 36 dates, he counts down each of the times he's been featured since then, which knocks us down to 27. It's not matches in its appearance. And I like the line here where he mentioned that he doesn't have to wrestle, he just has to show up. And when that number hits 0, apparently the wrestling timeline stops, which also doesn't really make sense because he says that that title will be gone. Yes, he knows that there'll be a new title, but when it comes to like mentioning that no one's going to be able to get the world title or be a multiple time champion, John Cena fails to forget there still is a World Heavyweight Championship title there as well. So he may be taking the WWE Championship and they may make a new belt in his eyes, but there's still the World Heavyweight Championship here. So, yeah, apparently the best chance was Cody Rhodes, so I'll digress. And he was out-wrestled and destroyed, and the fans seem to be booing Cody Rhodes, which was quite interesting. It did fed into what John Cena is talking about and his main kind of problem with the fans, having a dysfunctional relationship, cheering and booing when they see him. So that does make sense, and really the fans proved that for booing Cody Rhodes. But basically, he tells everyone to get their phones out, which kind of just alludes to the fact that he still is interested in the fans because of what happened later. He mentions the last real champion is here, and just before he gets Randy Orton comes out. So Randy Orton does come out, which is a major surprise. Well, not really, but to him, him going to the point to yell shit, which was pretty funny. Just before he copped an RKO. And Randy Orton does hold the belt here. This obviously makes sense given that the Backlash is going to be in St. Louis. But then alluding to the fact that if John Cena does, take the WWE Championship title, Randy Orton still has a chance to get 17 titles. He just has to go for the World Heavyweight Championship. So even if they change it. So again, the logic is really flawed with John Cena taking out this WWE Championship. Again, it does fit to the story that he wants to ruin WrestleMania, etc., etc. He knows that there's going to get a new belt. But it's just hard to really align with it when you've got a World Heavyweight Championship belt on Raw and with Jey Uso at the moment. But I think a lot of people are getting their opinions on John Cena's heel turn at the moment and how he's been as a heel. I think John Cena is doing a good job. Obviously, it seems that it's not real because of the fact that we've been so used to John Cena being a babyface for pretty much his whole wrestling career. It's really hard to kind of take the heel run seriously. But he's really doing a good job in it. The fact that he's obviously cussing out the crowd, trying to get them to boo him. It's just hard when he's pretty much the GOAT. We all know it's going to be his last year. And yeah, we're basically getting what we thought John Cena was going to be if he was ever a heel. So if we take out the fan reaction, the holistic point of the fact that he's won 17 titles, the fact that it's his last year, if you look at him just simply as the character, I think he's done a really good job of being a heel. It's just a shame that they weren't able to pull the trigger a long time ago when this should have really happened and he would have got the heat. But again, the fans are getting what they want. They're getting a John Cena heel turn. They're getting a character that they never thought would happen. We're going to literally see Randy Orton versus John Cena where the roles are reversed, because every time they've versed, John Cena's always been the baby face and Randy Orton has always been the heel. That's going to literally flip. So again, the fans are not going to probably encourage this, but if you look at how he's performing, I think he's doing a good job. And there's no hiding the fact that obviously we know that this is a performance, so it's very hard to take it seriously as well. So all these things to consider here. It may have been too late, but I'm happy that it's happened because finally we get the question answered how John Cena as a heel really is. And that's kind of what was the stain on his career. That was really the stain on his legacy, was that he was never able to really turn heel. So he's doing that right now. I think as a character, he's doing a great job. The fans probably need to boo him a bit more. And I think that he's still got a whole year to really sell this. Like, eventually he's going to turn face. Eventually he's going to retire and everyone is going to be happy. But let's enjoy this character that we never thought we'd have. I think if the fans appreciate that more, we'll be able to get the best of John Cena. And the crowd really needs to boo. They just need to boo him. Despite whatever they think, the more boos and the more heat he gets, the better this run will be. So that's probably all I'm going to mention on John Cena. And continue this heel turn change because Becky Lynch on Raw turned heel on Lyra Valkyria. We do get them before losing the titles, once just winning it from WrestleMania to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, with Becky Lynch turning heel. This makes a whole lot of sense for probably so many different reasons. So the first reason being that we now find out who attacked Bayley. I mentioned how it was unfair on Bayley to get attacked the night before WrestleMania. I think that was extremely unfair. We get a bit of a small storyline to that. They may set up something between her and Becky Lynch in the future. Lyra Two Belts wasn't going to last for too long, I suspected, because, again, really doesn't make sense for her to hold two titles for too long. The focus should be on the title that she has. And Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are married. So I guess if you want to take out, kayfabe, you've got Seth Rollins who's just turned heel. And you've got Becky Lynch who just turned heel now. So we get two partners, two couples that are both heel too. I do like the heel turn. I don't like the fact that she came in and did the manhandle slam again when the crowd told her to. That's not the point of a heel. You're not supposed to give the crowd what they want. But again, this is going to be a good feud for Lyra Valkyria. This is going to potentially put her over. They may give the title to Becky Lynch, as mentioned, because they might partner up her with Bayley and do a program together. But again, I think this is not the worst thing ever. I think Becky Lynch coming back as a face, she's been there for a long time. A good heel run here might elevate Lyra Valkyria and make that Intercontinental title a little bit more relevant, because we haven't really seen much from it since she's been the first ever champion. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I do like the heel turn. Again, I really still feel bad for Bayley not getting a WrestleMania appearance there. We then get back to main event with the New Catch Republic taking on American Made. So it looks like that Pete Dunne, since Tyler Bate's come back, is back to a face and they're back together. You can see that Tyler Bate is enthusiastic, getting on amongst the crowd, and Pete Dunne looks extremely bitter. Not sure whether that's just him maintaining his character or just being how he is. But I think that I'd like to see Pete Dunne turn on Tyler Bate. Just seems that Pete Dunne has elevated past being a tag team. I know that he didn't really do much as a single star, but he had some pretty notable feuds with Penta, with Sheamus, and I think a good heel run for Pete Dunne would be something of somewhat interest. Turning on Tyler Bate might reignite some fire that Pete Dunne sort of had last year. And as for Tyler Bate, he just got back from injury, so he's looking just to get some more momentum. They do get the victory here against American Made, who for some reason have just decided to be jobbers. I'm not really sure what they're doing with them now. You think that they would be a bit more kind of pushed, because of the fact that we've got El Grande Americano and the Creed brothers are really, really good athletes. That could be a potential mid-card faction here, with Chad Gable potentially winning the Intercontinental title in the future, or El Grande Americano, and the Creed brothers potentially winning World Tag Team titles as well. They need the World Tag Team division to kind of ramp up. So it definitely is sad to see them kind of taking losses. I know we've got a heel champions at the moment with the New Day, but still having American Made building momentum, I think made the more sense. With New Catch Republic, who I don't think is a functional tag team anymore. I don't think they should just be a tag team. I think they should go off their separate ways. Pete Dunne should really just initiate that with a turn on his friend. So don't really see why they were given the victory here. It didn't really make sense for booking, but nevertheless, they get the victory there, and American Made are forced to take another loss. Speaking just quickly about the tag team division, I'm still shocked that the World Tag Team Champions were defended before the Tag Team Champions, based on the events that happened on SmackDown. But I'll leave that for next week. Just thought I'd put my 2 cents in that. We then basically close the show with Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman coming into the ring. Seth Rollins basically saying that he was the winner of the main event and he is basically a revolutionary. Paul Heyman joining the side of Seth Rollins, which I'm loving so far. It does make sense for Paul Heyman to be a heel. It just, again, as mentioned last week, and I keep going back to last week, Paul Heyman being a heel manager just makes sense. Him being a face manager doesn't really do much for any superstar. I think Paul Heyman is best work is when he's a heel. So it's great that he's teamed up with Seth Rollins here. We then get CM Punk coming into the ring, trying to attack Seth Rollins, stomping him into the corner. And as he continues to do that, he finally is able to get his hands on Paul Heyman, as it seems. Then Seth Rollins rakes his eyes and then hits him with a curb stomp. Basically, then Paul Heyman gets on the mic and pretty much mentions that he is the reigning, defending, undisputed top guy in WWE. To then Roman Reigns interrupts and comes and spears Seth Rollins. Superman punches Paul Heyman. And as he's about to hit the spear, and this honestly shocked the shit out of me. Sorry for my language. But Bron Breakker out of nowhere spears Roman Reigns. So we get Bron Breakker coming and joining allegiance with Seth Rollins and with Paul Heyman, which is incredible. If there was any person, I think a lot of people have said it, that is the perfect Paul Heyman guy, it is Bron Breakker. And now I can understand why they got him away from the Intercontinental title, because Bron Breakker is the real deal. And they are pushing this bloke to the moon. They have put a rocket on Bron Breakker. They have associated him now into main event territory. And this is just fantastic. Anyways, I'll continue. He gets out of the ring, goes to try attack Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns lands an uppercut. And you can see Bron's reaction. You know what's about to happen. Does a full ring sprint all around the ring and spears Roman Reigns into the barricade. Then brings him into the ring. Seth Rollins then curb stomping the both of them. And you can see the new potential faction putting their hands up to the sky and celebrating what is an extremely good victory. And you know what I found super powerful was when I saw Bron Breakker get kissed by Paul Heyman on the forehead. And just that hug there. You can just... Oh, I love it. I love this. I think WWE did a really good job in booking this. I did personally at first thought that Seth Rollins was going to team up with John Cena. But it seems as though they're going to create another faction here. There might be another superstar into this. But I have a feeling that no. I feel like it's just going to be these two. With Paul Heyman at the helm. But you never know. It might be an Evolution 2.0 here. We'll have to wait and see, but I loved it. I love this booking. I love Bron Breakker being in those kind of higher ranks, getting away from the Intercontinental title, getting away from the mid-card. He is the real deal. He is definitely the future of this company. When he first started, he was just out there wrecking people. I'm just really happy with this, honestly, and I think that Seth Rollins teaming up with Paul Heyman is perfect. I remember Seth Rollins being the face of the company with the Authority, doing a fantastic job in that role. He is the perfect guy to be the main guy in this faction, and I'm extremely excited to see what's going to happen here. It seems as though Backlash is set up for these two fighting CM Punk and Roman Reigns, but we'll have to wait and see as to what happens. But yeah, the Raw after WrestleMania was fantastic. The two main event matches were great, and that's going to be it for this week's main event review. Until next week, hopefully we have a few more questions answered in regards to Becky Lynch's heel turn. And we're going to see, hopefully, this new faction be addressed. Maybe with an extra superstar. We'll have to wait and see. But again, it's been your boy Daniel. You've listened to another main event review. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.